Hello, fans of DX Engineering. This is Thursday afternoon. We're talking vendors, the manufacturer showcase, brought to you by DX Engineering. DX Engineering represents over 180 different manufacturers, and we like to bring these manufacturers to you so that you can ask questions, maybe learn a little bit more about their products. Today we have from DX Engineering, it's Mark, W8BBQ. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Tim. Good afternoon to you and all the viewers out there.
Mark, great to have you along. We're going to talk about butternut vertical antennas today, one of your favorite
All right.
subjects. How long have you had a butternut vertical?
Somewhere between 35 and 40 years.
Wow.
Not the exact same one. Bought and sold like most hams, but I always try to keep one of those in my quiver of arrows for DX.
So,
And yep.
yeah, let's talk about what bands you use your butter. Well, let's talk about the installation first. Tell us about where you have it and radials, etc.
Okay, in my particular instance, it's out in the open. I've got probably 50 to 60 radials down. They range in length of 30 feet to probably 80 feet. This is something that I've, worked on over the years. So that's another nice thing about the antenna. You don't have to go full boat right away. A lot of guys will start with just 12 radials. On the ground, and the radials are a lot easier to lay down than a lot of people think. So you
Uh,
could play with it and add on to it.
which model of the butternut is it that you're using?
I have the HF9V, which covers 9 bands. We also offer the 6V, 6 bands, obviously, and then the 2V.
Okay, so you've got a variety, but what we're going to talk about right now is the HF9V, which hopefully you're going to see on your screen here.
Oh, that's her.
Yeah. So let's talk now. What when you're talking about mounting this vertical, Mark? What kind of a mounting post or pipe do you have in the ground?
We have a sleeve that we offer that goes right into the ground, and the antenna slides right in. Excuse me, right into the sleeve. So it's really a very easy installation. Some people may state that it's a harder antenna to tune, but to be honest with you, you're not tuning an antenna. You're tuning 9 different antennas, and especially if you happen to have or a friend of yours happens to have an antenna analyzer, it's a lot easier job than it would be to tune 9 individual antennas. So.
And so this works on all the bands from 80 meters through 6 meters. What are the bands that you use the HF9 on at your station?
Well, I always keep it as a backup. Like I said, I have beam antennas and wire antennas, but I always make sure that I've got a butternut available. And for the most part, in my particular instance, 80, 40, and 30 are the bands that I use it on.
80, 40, and 30. And so let's go on 40 meters. So, Mark, how would you say the HF9V works on 40 meters? How effective is it?
Very effective. I like chasing DX. That's what I like to do. I've got at least 3 different antennas for 40 meters. One of them's a beam, and the angle of takeoff with this vertical really helps out on 40. Sometimes, as you know, depending on band conditions, I can hear a little better off of like an OCF and off center fed wire antenna, but it always talks better, and I seem to get through quicker with the butternut.
Do you see the manual up on your screen?
Um, yeah, I see the link for the manual. Yes.
Yeah, you see the link to the manual. I have the manual on page 6. Do you see that?
I do not. No, I'm
Okay.
seeing the link for the manual.
Just all you see is the link to the manual. Um, All right. Well, see here. If we go back, do you see the part detail now?
I'm seeing the Butternut HF9V
Yeah.
100 gauge.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Very good. So, you know, so it works well enough on 40 meters. You can work DX with it. You can work local stations.
Mhm.
How would you compare it to like maybe a hex beam or a small tri-bander on 20?
On 20 meters, it holds its own. I mean, I'm always of the opinion that that if you've got something in the way of a directional antenna, that it's going to be better. But as opposed to a wire, I usually end up using the butternut over like an OCF for a long wire or something like that.
And how hard? Back to your comments about having an antenna analyzer to actually tune the antenna. How hard is it to tune the butternut vertical?
It's not hard at all. Like I said, keeping in mind if you've got an analyzer on hand. But yeah, you just go through the bands. And what's nice about the butternut is that, after you get past, like, say, the 10 and 15-meter antenna, the 10-meter tuning portion is the very top piece. But once you get past that, the rest of the bands can be tuned as you're standing on the ground next to it. It's very cool the way it's designed. There's wing nuts on the coils, and you just loosen up a wing nut with your fingers and slide the coils up and down to move frequency.
So you've done a lot of customer support when guys have questions about their butternut verticals when they get them from DX Engineering. What kind of questions do you get?
Mostly it's about radials, a lot of questions about radials. And then after that, it would be the tuning process. But our manual is so in depth and so well written, that you just have to, allow some time and go through each band, and usually end up with exceptionally low SWR, and more importantly, performance out of it.
So how about variations in the time of year? Does the tuning change between summer and winter?
Well, it can, and that may be, evident in any antenna, but sure, it can change. Sometimes if you get a lot of rain, just from the soil conditions. But it's never anything. At least I've never experienced anything that was, extravagant. No big changes, barring anything being wrong along the way, feed line or something like that. But if everything's working properly, it can have a small impact on the SWR.
So do you see the manual now?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay, so how about these coils? Do they stand up to the weather? Have you had any trouble with the capacitors, etc.?
I've never had a coil problem. I think the current version that I have in place now is probably a good 15 years old, and I've never had a coil problem. Um, I did replace one pass capacitor over that time period, but that was definitely from operator error. Um, the only issue that that I see a lot of, and we've made some changes to the design. It used to be in the feed line, the matching sub, so to speak. If you can hold that picture right there, the feed line just used to be a split piece of coax, that used to feed the antenna. And inevitably, it would break down, and you would have issues with it. But we've came out with that new feed point connector that you see right there, the black piece that's got an SO239 connector on one end, that accepts the feed line from your house. And then the other two ends, the wire connectors, already have mounted on them the correct ring terminals that made up for the butternut. I think I've had that mine up for 5 or 6 years now, I'd guess 7 maybe, with that connector on it, with no issues. So
Yeah, that makes the connection a whole lot more reliable. And these butternut verticals are in use all over the world. Here's a great troubleshooting guide, Mark. When guys are having trouble, they can go here, and there's a lot of the symptoms can be fixed just by,
Right.
you talked about the manual being very good. Lots of,
It is.
here's the whole drill down on the capacitors.
Yeah, there's so many. Yeah, I know that we make it, and then and Butternut's our brand, but there's really so many good things about that antenna. I mean, for a new ham, unlike some other antennas, this is an antenna that you can buy and set up and keep, all through uh, your ham radio career as you're, even as you're going up through the different license classes. That's another thing that's nice about it. So you can pop one up and have it for 10 and 6 meters immediately. But as you go on, I mean, it handles full legal limit. It's got all the band coverage. So, for somebody that's kind of coming into it and looking for a one and done, it's a great choice. The HF9V that covers all the bands only weighs about 11 pounds. You can move it around yourself. It's very easy. And unlike some other verticals, it's weighted like a fishing pole. So all the weight's at the bottom, so one person can easily, lift it out of the ground, set it down. But once you get it tuned up, there's it'd be up for years before you would have to lay it down to fix something or adjust something. I mean, it's
Right.
kind of a set it and forget it.
That's a great way to go. You don't want to have trouble, especially when the weather's bad. I do want to go to the chat room real quick, Mark. We've got Jason on, Kilo Queen 4, Uniform Echo India. And from Huron, Ohio, it's Whiskey 8, Queen Juliet Fox. Steve, November Alpha 5 Charlie, says, I remember back in the 80s, Butternut and Venture were made 30 miles from me in Texas and literally in a garage. And those antennas are still on the air and working great.
Or
Um, Logan, W4 Queen X-Ray Lima, I have the HF6V, and it's an excellent antenna. It was not overly complicated to build or tune, and it performs like a beast. I've chased a ton of DX barefoot with 100 watts. And Michael, W3MLJ, Butternut Vertical, was one of my first antennas that I had with limited space and worked wonderful. Of course, our good friend from DX Engineering, Jeff, KB8 Zulu Whiskey Tango. I have a Butternut HF9V. Would it be possible to shorten it and create a custom? Jeff is always trying to push the envelope.
yeah. You got to get those short jokes in there.
He says, would it be possible to shorten it? I think what he really means is, Mark, that he ran over it with his lawnmower and it's already shortened.
And you know what? That wouldn't be the first time, Tim.
Tom is on here with us. Tom says, on the HF9V, is there anything magical about the 75 ohm matching coax cable? Mine didn't include the feed point connector block, so I'm always having to strip back the coax and the ring terminals break. Tom, good news about that is that you can upgrade your Butternut Vertical to have the connector block. We sell the connector block separate. And yes, there is something magical about that 75 ohm matching coax cable that's in series. It does need to be a specific length. We also sell that separately. So it sounds like you need the new connector block and you need a new matching cable to make the vertical work.
Yeah, it can
Like
be
it
kind
did.
of tricky. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Tim. It can
Yeah,
be
go
kind of
ahead, Mark.
tricky. It can be kind of tricky to try to duplicate that matching cable. Velocity factors and all that small stuff. Dealing with the coax has an effect on the length, and that's what you need is that exact length.
Yes, and so we've got them. You can call in to parts and order them without any problem at all. From Scotland, it's Golf Mike Zero, Golf Mike November. Good evening from Scotland. I've been running a Butternut antenna for at least 35 years. And here's Parky, KB8 Uniform Zulu. And he is the architect behind all of the DX engineering manuals. And we thank Parky for all the work you've done for years and years to make these manuals. They're best in class. I don't know.
Absolutely.
The guys at Heathkit would have died to have Parky on their staff. James, I bought my HF9V Butternut Vertical from DX Engineering. Great support. And Jeff, KB8ZWT, it's a great antenna. Just be careful when you use the yard aerator. That guy has more yard equipment. See our friend Jeff, November 5 Tango Juliet from the DX Engineering sales and support staff. He's had 3 of the various Butternut verticals, and he's used them all with great success. And Dustin, Kilo 9 Delta Lima Sierra, he's got the HF9V, and it's a great antenna. Well, Mark, thanks so much for coming on today with us and having fun with the Butternut. And if you have any questions about the Butternut vertical, you can always call in, ask for Mark, W8BBQ, or any one of the DX Engineering team. They'll answer your questions, answer your emails. Mark, thank you so much for coming on today.
Had a good time. Thank you, Tim.
All right. Thanks to all of you for watching. We'll see you next time here at DX Engineering. Until then, 73.